Attachment is the root of all suffering. Practice detachment and you will never be hurt. Detach yourself from materialistic ideas and goals in your physical life and you'll find freedom. No amount of money or possessions can truly make you happy. True happiness comes from within. Look into your mind and find the answers.
I smoke Cali, no enemy. I won't stop until I get a mirror. See that face, I'm rocking polo. Knew that I could take it, man. I done it on my dolo. Nigga, you was vaping, I was really on my solo. Bitches wanna shake it, I will never hold a holdo. Knew that I would make it, now we really living good. Flying packs, now I fly a spaceship through the hood. No chance, leave no traces. Glass valley and the snood. I never fuck her if she's basic. Make a tent out the wood. Come up so hasty, faster than the car goes. I was never lazy, they say that I can't blow. How I used to make P, grab and clear the cargo. Told my nigga Casey, I'ma take it far, bro. Only smoke straight green, cause I'm healthy. I swear money was the only thing to help me. I was in the slums, but my mindset was wealthy. And this ain't spice, only smoke the top shelf cheap. Honey's on me, now the honey's on me. It's what I'm popping.
What's up? It's your boy, Inception Mystic, Keith Derek, Intuitive Insight, Tyrese Curran, Archangel, Gabriel, Shepherd, Donovan, Libro, Sun, Berbera, Moon, Aquemini Rising, Immortal Soul, Enlightened Being, 369 Larez, Star C, stand up! Here to deliver you deep esoteric knowledge, divine intellectual wisdom, and intelligence in a way that can be understood by all ages.
What's up? It's your boy, Equivocal Inception Mystic, Etheric Intuitive Insight, Kyrese Curran, Archangel Gabriel, Shepherd Donovan, Libro Sun, Regulus Moon, Aquemini, Verba Rising, Immortal Soul, Enlightened Being, 369 Larez, Disestablishmentarianist, Star Seed, stand up! Here to deliver you deep esoteric knowledge, divine intellectual wisdom, and intelligence in a way that can be understood by all ages. Now, I don't care if you're big or small, short or tall. Now, I don't care if you're old or young, boring or fun. Now, I don't care if you walk or run, snow or sun. Let's get to it. Now, peace and love to you all. I wish each and every single one of you an abundance of prosperity, and I hope you have been getting along well with the task. Now, if you have made it to this point, seriously, I want to congratulate you. If you've made it to week 7, round of applause for you, because yo, that task on week 6 is hard. I can't lie. Me myself, bro. This is the first task. So when I went through this system, every week up until week 6, I done it instantly. So week 1, I done it straight away. Then I watched week 2. Week 2, I done it. Then I watched week 3. And the only week that I couldn't complete instantly was week 6. I actually had to stay on that for a week, yo. So for you guys, I'm not saying this as like an ego thing. If any of you can't complete the challenges at the first time, it's normal, bro. It's normal. But just for me, I could complete all the challenges on my first attempt up to week 6. That was the first week where I couldn't even do it on first try. So that task is hard. I can't lie. With the photo, it's challenging still. So if you made it to this point, week 7, congratulations. If you haven't watched week 6, go back and watch all the weeks from week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because yeah, week 6 is tough. You're not going to be able to do it on your first try. You got to watch week 5, week 4, week 3. You get it? There's a system to this for a reason. In week 6, we spoke about the brain, and in week 7, we're going to be moving on to utilizing the omnipotent power that we have. So I'm going to say this one last time. If you haven't watched week 6, go and watch week 6. Congratulations for making it this far. And we're going to start getting into week 7, yo. So throughout all the ages, man has believed in an invisible power through which and by which all things have been created and are being continually recreated. We may personalize this power and call it God, or you might just think of it as the essence or the spirit that permeates all things. But in either case, the effect of it is the same. So the individual is concerned about the objective, the physical, the visible, which can be cognized by the senses, and this consists of a body, brain, and nerves. But the subjective is the spiritual, the invisible, and the impersonal. So it's like the masculine and feminine. The subjective is spiritual, and the objective is the physical and the visible, which we can use and see with our senses. But the other shit that you got to use your intuition or is not as easily measured, that is the subjective. The personal is conscious because it's a personal entity. The impersonal is the same in kind and quality as the other being, but it's not conscious of itself, and is therefore it has been determined the subconscious. The personal or the conscious has a power of will and choice. It can exercise discrimination and select methods to bring the solution of difficulties. But the impersonal, the spiritual, or that being which is a part of the source of all origin and power, can not really exercise any such choice. But on the contrary, it does have infinite resources at its command. It can and does bring about methods concerning which the human mind can have no possible conception. You'll therefore see that your power is our privilege to determine and depend on these spiritual powers, because you can bring about from a source of infinity that people only using the physical has not as much potential to tap into, because they will always have limitations or something that's stopping them. So in this part, we're going to give the scientific explanation of the wonderful power which has been put in your control. But all you got to do is understand, appreciate, and recognize it. You will therefore see that it's your privilege to depend upon the human will with all that its limits and misconceptions, or you may utilize the potentialities of infinity by making use of the subconscious mind. So you can use the conscious or the subconscious mind, but the conscious mind is limited and the subconscious mind is unlimited. One method of consciously utilizing this omnipotent power is going to be outlined here in week 7, which I have the honor of transmitting herewith. So let's get to it. Week 7, utilizing the omnipotent power. Let me just check this is still recording. Yep. Okay, so you ready? We're going to be getting into week 7 now. Just take a second to be present. Come to the present moment. The whole point of all these videos and what we're doing is to raise our own level of consciousness, to become more present and to be able to manifest more things. But you have to be grounded in the moment. You have to be physically here, present, and conscious of what's going on to be able to use this stuff, yo. So any of you daydreaming or watching entertainment, come back, bro. This is not entertainment. We need to be present here now and paying attention. This is for you, yo, because I can't lie, the first couple of weeks, it's just like general, you get it, just conditioning for the mind so you can learn about these vague subjects. But yo, from this part, from week 6 onwards, it gets tough, so you got to pay attention. This is where we're actually learning how to unlock real powers in the mind and shit, so make sure you're paying attention. This is for you at the end of the day. Week 7, let's go. Visualization is a process of making mental images. An image is the mold or the model which will serve as a pattern from which your future will emerge. So you got to make the pattern clear, make it beautiful. Don't be afraid, make it grand, engage every sense, engage every detail. Remember that no limitation can be placed upon you by anyone but yourself. You're not limited to a cost of material. You're in the imagination. You can draw upon the infinite for your supply. Construct it in your imagination. It will have to be there before it can appear anywhere else. Before any invention can become real or even drawn out, it has to be imagined first. So by us working on the power of imagination, we are becoming creators in this world who can actually manifest and bring things into reality that may have not even existed before. So you got to make the image clear and clean cut. Hold it firmly in the mind, and you'll gradually and constantly bring the thing nearer to you. You can be what you will to be. I can be what I will to be. This is another psychological fact which is well known, but unfortunately reading about it is not going to bring you any result which you have in mind. It's not going to help you to form the mental image, much less to bring it into manifestation. Work is necessary. Labor, hard mental labor, the kind of effort which so few are willing to put forth. And I know a lot of you don't want to hear this. I know it's tough to hear, but work is necessary. A lot of you guys think this spiritual shit or manifestation is a way to get out of doing the hard work. No, bro. It's not, my nigga. You still gotta put in the work. The more you put in, the more you get out. It's just another form of doing it. So instead of chasing after your goal, like literally running after it on a hamster wheel and you're sprinting for your goal, instead you sit and you attract your goal to you. So you're still doing the work, but you're not expending as much physical effort. But a lot of you guys think you can just start learning about manifestation and not have to put in any effort. No, bro. You still have to put in work. Work is necessary. And I know you guys may not want to hear this, but bro, it's the truth, my nigga. All these guys who's trying to sell you some course or trying to give you some shortcuts that you can skip, they're fucking scammers and they're lying to you, yo. I'm telling you here that work is necessary. Anything in life that you want to get out that's worth it, you're going to have to put in some work for it. And that's the hard truth, yo. The first step is idealization. It's likewise the most important step because it's the step that the plan is going to fall into which you are going to build from. So it must be solid. It must be permanent. The architect, when he plans a 30-story building, he has every single line and detail pictured in advance. The engineer, when he flies a plane, he first knows the requirements of 1,000,000 nuts and bolts of every separate part. Before the plane can fly, the engineer must have calculated everything beforehand. So they see the end, the architect, they see the end before the first step is taken. So before the first brick is even placed, they know what they're going to build. They know the end result. So you have to picture in your mind what you want. You're now sowing the seed. But before you can even sow the seed, I spoke about this last week about the meditation and the soil. Before you can sow the seed, you got to know first what is the harvest going to be. This is idealization. If you're not sure, return to the chair daily. Come back to this video every day. Come back to your position every day until the picture becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. Day by day and everywhere I'm getting better and better. It will gradually unfold. The first general plan will be dim. At first it might be vague, but the more you practice and the more you refine it and the more you focus, keep your tunnel vision, the outline will take form. Then the details, and you'll gradually develop the power by which you will be enabled to formulate plans by which eventually you can materialize these things in the objective world. You will come to know what the future holds for you. Then comes the process of visualization. You must see the picture more and more complete every day. See the details getting more clearer each time. And as the details begin to unfold, the ways and means for bringing them into manifestation will develop. One thing will lead to another. Alignment, synchronicities, things will just fall into place. Thoughts will lead to action. And action will develop methods. Methods will develop friends. And friends will bring about circumstances. And finally, the third step, or the materialization, will have been completed, yo. We all recognize the universe must have been thought into shape before it could have ever even become a material fact. And if we are willing to follow along the same great lines of the architect of the universe, we shall find our thoughts taking form just in the same way as the universe took its concrete form. It's the same kind of mind operating through the individual. There's no difference in kind, in quality. The only difference is of degree. The architect visualizes his building. He sees it as he wishes it to be. His thought becomes a plastic mold from which the building will eventually emerge. A high one or a low one, it doesn't matter. A beautiful one or a plain one, it doesn't matter. A big one or a small one, it doesn't matter. His vision takes form on paper, and eventually the necessary material is utilized and the building stands complete. So you guys got to understand the process of manifestation here. A lot of you think something's going to happen just out of nowhere in one day. No, bro, it is a process. It might be a slow process or it might be a fast process. But before he can build a building, they have to get the materials. But even before they get the materials, he has to draw out a picture, but before he can draw out the picture, he has to think of what he's going to draw first. So a lot of you guys want to do this and this and this in life. Yo, you have to understand the value of what I'm giving to you here before you can go out and do anything in this business or in this sport, or you got this dream with this music or this instrument, or you got these goals or whatever. I'm telling you, before you go out and do that, just sit here and think hard, think long and hard. Is this really what I want? Because I'm giving you the same tools as an architect to build a fucking skyscraper. But before they build it, they got to know what they're building. So before you start your empire, before you build your whole domain, before you start aggrandizing on your massive dreams of what you want to accomplish and break your family's generational curses, it is worth the time you sitting here first and making sure you plan out everything. Because before the plane can even fly, the engineer must have intricately planned and equated every single screw in that plane and thought about all of that beforehand. So a lot of you guys are rushing. You're looking at people who's already successful, and you fail to realize the amount of effort and hard work and years. Some people have been going decades on this path, and they only, after a long time, they see the results. So a lot of you guys have the wrong interpretation of how quick success can come to you. And I'm here giving you the truth. It's of a great value, but a lot of people don't want to hear the hard truth. They want to believe they can just have some quick, easy way out. No, bro. The inventor visualizes his idea in exactly the same manner. 369. For instance, Nikola Tesla. He, with the giant intellect, one of the greatest inventors of all ages, the man who have brought forth the most amazing realities, Nikola Tesla, always visualizes his inventions before attempting to work them out. You can read about this, you can read his book, whatever, bro. You go do your own research. Nikola Tesla does not rush to embody them in form and then correcting the time and spending his time, wasting his time correcting defects. He first builds the idea in his imagination and he holds it there as a mental picture to be reconstructed and improved by his thoughts. In this way, he writes in The Electrical Experimenter, I am enabled to rapidly develop and perfect a conception without touching anything. When I have gone so far as to embody the invention in every possible improvement I can think of, and I see no fault anywhere, I put into concrete the product of my brain. Invariably, my device works as I conceived it should. In 20 years, there has not been a single exception. This is the process Nikola Tesla uses to create his invention. One of the guys who has created many of the revolutionary things in our society, which like electricity, so many things Nikola Tesla has created. He was even working with orgone energy, and he was working to get free electricity for the whole world, but they silenced him. I'm not going to talk about this right now, but yo, do your own research about Nikola Tesla, energy, frequency, vibration. He knew the secrets of the universe, and he was one of the people actually in real time taking things that has never existed before, and he was bringing them into reality, yo. So that was just a quote from him. If you can conscientiously follow these directions, you will develop faith. The kind of faith that is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's a quote from the Bible. You will develop confidence, the kind of confidence that leads to endurance and courage. You'll develop faith, the kind of faith that is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You'll develop confidence, the kind of confidence that leads you to endurance and courage. You'll develop the power of concentration, which will enable you to exclude all the thoughts, tunnel vision, except the ones which are associated with your purpose. The law is that thought will manifest in form, and only one who knows how to be the divine thinker of his own thoughts can ever take a master's place and speak with authority. Clearness and accuracy are obtained only by repeatedly having the image in mind. Each repeated action renders the image more and more clear and accurate than the preceding one or the one before. And in proportion to the clearness and accuracy of the image will the outward manifestation be. So in exact proportion to the clearness and accuracy of the image in your imagination will be the exact proportion to the clearness and accuracy of the outward manifestation. So the more clearly you can see it in your own mind, the more clear and the more real it's going to become in the real world. You must first build it firmly and securely in your own mental world, the world within, before it comes into the world without. It can't take form in the world without until you have created it. Really, you've created it physically, plausibly, and tangibly inside the world within. And then you can bring it out into manifestation. But you can't bring anything out until you first created it inside. Even like Nikola Tesla, he can't create an invention in the real world until he creates it in his own mind first. So this is the value of what I'm giving you. I'm not giving you any specific road or any specific route. I'm giving you the broad, wide knowledge, the source that can take any route in existence. So before you build anything, any invention, any career path, any job, anything, bro, any fucking thing under the sun, before you can make it real in the objective world, you have to create it in the world within first. So before it can take form in the world without, you have to create it in the world within first. But you cannot build anything in the mental world, the world within, unless you have the materials there first. So this is what I'm giving you to be able to have the mental materials that you can build anything. When you have the mental materials, you can build anything you wish, but you have to make sure of your material first. You can't make a luxury item from scrap materials, yo. This material will be brought out by millions of silent mental workers and fashioned into the form of the image which you have in mind. You cannot make broadcloth from shoddy. Think of it. You have over 5 million of these mental workers ready and in active use. I'm talking about your brain cells, as they're called. Besides this, there is another reserve force of at least an equal number, ready to be called into action at the slightest need. Your power to think then is almost unlimited, and this means that your power to create the kind of mental material which is necessary to build for yourself any kind of environment which you desire is also practically unlimited too. And in addition to these mental workers, which you have millions of them in your mind, in your brain, you have billions of mental workers in the body. Every one of these is endowed with sufficient intelligence to understand and act upon any messages or suggestions given. These are cells which are busy creating and recreating the body subconsciously. But in addition with this, they are endowed with psychic activity whereby they can attract to themselves the substance necessary for perfect development. So if I say to you right now, how do your feet feel? You can come into a conscious perception or idea of it without actually moving your feet. Or I can say, how do your hands feel right now? Or bring your consciousness to your hands and note the sensation, how they feel. You can even feel a little bit of vibrating around them and heat of the warmth or the cold, or you get it, is there any wind? Or you can move your consciousness to another part of the body without physically moving anything, because you have these cells, but they are conscious and they will send messages to the brain. They do this by the same law and in the same manner that every form of life attracts to itself the necessary material for growth. The oak, the rose, the lily, any tree, they all require a certain material for their most perfect expression. and they secure it in silent demand, the law of attraction. The most certain way for you to secure what you require for your most complete development. So look at it like this. Every fruit in nature, they all have their own specific materials to make that fruit. Every fruit has its own different color, its own different flavor, but because that fruit is at its own specific vibration, so an apple is not going to taste like an orange. Why? Because the apple has the seed of the apple inside it. It's attracting from the same soil. Two different trees could grow. An apple and orange tree could grow from the same soil because it is that setting inside the apple that's attracting it what it needs to create an apple. It can't take the materials needed to create an orange and to make an apple. So in the same way, your goals, your dreams, you're comparing yourself to each other. Comparison is the thief of joy. You guys might be your own fruits and flowers in your own respective way. There's many billions of stars in the universe, and none of them take away from each other. They all shine at their own distance. So before you can know what you're gonna build, what's gonna happen, you have to know first. Before you can do it, you have to know what's gonna happen. So before you can actually go and do it, you have to know what you're building first. So in the same way that each life form attracts the necessary material for its growth, it's specific to them. A big tree, a big oak tree, is not gonna attract the same hard, sturdy, strong material to build a giant oak tree as a little flower or a little lily is gonna have to attract. So you have to know, what are you aiming to do? What are you actually set out to do in your life? What are your actual goals? So for every person, this is specific and unique to them. This is why my content can be for anyone. I don't care your age. I don't care if you're old or young. I don't care if you're short or tall. Make the mental image. Make it clear. Make it distinct. Make it perfect. Hold it firmly. The ways and the means will develop along the way. For now, build up the image. The supply will follow the demand, and you'll be led to do the right thing at the right time and in the right way. The right people with the right things will come at the right place in the right time. Earnest desire will bring about confident expectation, and this in turn must be reinforced by firm demand. And these three cannot fail to bring about attainment, because the earnest desire is the feeling, the confident expectation is the thought, and the firm demand is the will. And as we have seen, feeling gives vitality to thought, and the will holds it steadily until the law of growth brings it into manifestation. So this is what I mean by feeling gives it vitality. It's the same as sex between a man and a woman. The man is the thought. The sperm cell enters the woman, and the woman is a feeling. She gives vitality to it. She takes care of it and nurtures it. The man had the DNA inside him at first, the thought in him, but it goes into the woman, and that's where it's nurtured and taken care of. The same way as your manifestation or idea, you can have your thought. It's like the sperm cell in a man. You can have it, but unless it has been put in those correct, right conditions to where it can grow and be taken care of with all the materials it needs, like inside the womb, your manifestation is not going to be able to come real. So the feeling gives it vitality. The feeling gives the thought vitality, and the will holds it steadily until the law of growth brings it into manifestation. So the law of growth states you may be working hard on something and see no results, and all of a sudden all of the growth can happen in one short burst. So it's similar to the Chinese bamboo tree. I think it goes for 6 months with no signs of growth at all. I think it may even be 5 years this tree grows with no signs of growth. You have to water the seed every day, Chinese bamboo tree, and then all of a sudden within like 2 weeks it does all of its growth, and it grows up to 60 feet within 2 weeks. But if you miss watering it even for 1 day within those 5 years, it's not going to grow. So to the outside looking in, people might look at you like you're crazy. Like, why is this guy watering the same patch of soil? Nothing's going to grow for it. And you may even fall into their words. You could even slip under their spells if you allow yourself to believe it, because you could agree with them and say, yeah, why am I even doing this? Fuck it. And you don't water it one day, and it was right because you was watering it and it never happened. This is how I see it. If you quit on your dreams, yo, you have this seed, you're watering it, you know it can grow. Other people are looking at you like you're fucking stupid, like you're just watering the soil for no reason, but you know there's a seed in there and it can grow. And it might take you 5 years of watering. You cannot miss one day. You know if you miss one day, it's not going to grow. But for other people, they don't think it's going to fucking grow anyway. So it's now your responsibility. Are you going to make this grow or not? Because now you know there's other people looking at you as well. So if you've done all this for no reason, it's going to be embarrassing. So now you have to make sure that it grows and make sure you don't skip a day. Because more than likely, when it actually does grow, these people are going to fucking forget that you even planted a seed. So for them, they're going to see it like it's magic, like you just grew this plant out of nowhere. But really, they fail to see the hard fucking work that you've been putting in for years and years and years and years and years. Yo, this is the law of growth. Is it not wonderful that man has such tremendous power within himself, such transcendental faculties concerning with which he had no conception prior? Is it not strange that we have always been told to look for strength and power without rather than within? All growth is from within. We have been taught to look everywhere but within, and wherever this power manifested in our lives, we were told that it was something supernatural, but really it was us, and the power comes from within. There have been many who have come into an understanding of this wonderful power, who may make serious and conscientious efforts to realize health, power, and other conditions, but they seem to fail. They do not seem to be able to bring the law into operation. The difficulty in nearly every case is they are dealing with externals. They want money, power, health, and abundance. But they fail to realize that these are effects and can only come when the cause is found. Those who will give no attention to this world without will seek to ascertain the truth. They will only look for wisdom. They will find that this wisdom will unfold and disclose the source of all power, that it will manifest in thought and purpose to create the external conditions desire. This truth will find expression in noble purpose and courageous actions. They will find, rather than looking for the money and power, they look for the wisdom and truth for which they can create that from. Create ideals only. Give no thought to external conditions. Make the world within beautiful and opulent, and the world without will express and manifest the conditions which you have made within. You will come into a realization of your power to create ideals, and these ideals will be projected into the world of effect. For instance, a man is in debt. He is continually thinking about his debt, concentrating on it, and his thoughts are the causes of the results that he is only fastening the debt closer to him. He's attaching himself to it, and by focusing on it, he actually creates more debt. He is putting the law of attraction into operation, but he's using it negatively, with this usual and inevitable result. Loss leads to more loss. This is an example of the law of attraction. Some of you can even see how your family members are doing this. What then is the correct principle? What should we do? If I have a debt, I'm going to focus on the debt, right? Wrong. Concentrate on the things you want, not the things you do not want. Think of abundance. Idealize the methods and plans for putting the law of abundance into operation. Visualize the condition with which the law of abundance creates, and this will result in manifestation. For example, if I tell you, if you get one fruit, like a fucking passion fruit, slice it open, show me how many passion fruits could you grow from this just one fruit. Or if you get any fruit, watermelon, strawberry, how much can you grow from just this one? More than likely, nature is abundant and it's given us everything we need. This is the law of abundance. Any fruit has enough to make like 10, 20, 100, some, depending on which fruit. And you could create a whole forest essentially from one seed. If we look at a man, one man has a potential to repopulate the whole earth. One man can create, I don't know how many, like thousands of kids. Is no limit on it really. Like, you could just create many. One man can create 1,000 sons, or one man can create 100 more men. Even if we look at the ocean, there's enough water. There's more than enough water. If you think about how much glasses of water are in the ocean, it's uncountable, yo. In this world, we live in an abundant universe. There is more than enough for everybody. But it's just a scarcity, westernized mindset of divide and conquer, to where these businesses have us thinking we need stuff that we don't really need, when once you have become conscious of the law of abundance and what it creates, this is going to bring about manifestation in your own life. If the law operates perfectly to bring about poverty, lack, or every form of limitation, for those who are continually entertaining thoughts of lack, the law of attraction is gonna bring to you poverty and lack and limit that you're focusing on, because that's the limitations you've set on yourself. It will operate also in the same certainty to bring about conditions of power, opulence, abundance for those who entertain thoughts of courage and power. So I don't see how some of you can't understand this. The same way you can attract yourself negative conditions and fear and doubt, and you can attract to yourself debt, it's the exact same method to which you attract yourself positivity and abundance. This is a difficult problem for many. We're too anxious. We may manifest anxiety, fear, distress, and we want to do something. We want to help. And this is just like a child who plants a seed. The same analogy with a bamboo tree. And then they go and they check every 15 minutes. They dig up the seed and go to look if it's growing or not. Now, you guys, consciously aware people with your third eye open, and you guys who are present in the moment, you're going to understand what's happening here. You can't plant a seed and then go and dig it up and check if it's growing. It's not going to fucking grow, yo. And this is how many of you are with your spiritual journey or meditation or manifestations. You think you're gonna decide, I'm gonna be a positive person, or you're gonna try and meditate, and then you look after 5 minutes and say, this is not working, I give up. Like, bro, come on, man. You have to be more understanding, more patient than this. It's a process. You know how many people I've tried to put onto this consciousness, and they basically told me go fuck myself. Like, I'm telling you, you use this meditation. There's no specific path you have to use this for. It can help you with anything. And they're saying, I don't like meditation, or I don't like how it makes me feel. It doesn't work for me. You haven't even understood what it is to have even tried it, to say it doesn't work for you. You don't even have a grasp of what meditation is. So this is like someone who plants a seed and then he dig it up 5 minutes later to see if it grows. Even if it was growing, you would have just killed it by trying to dig it up. And even if it's not going to grow, by you digging it up, you're not gonna teach yourself anything by seeing that has grown or not grown. All you're doing is you're fucking up the whole process. It's like planting a seed, literally. Your dreams, your goals, your ideas, you have to give it time. You can't expect something to happen overnight. All the people who have had overnight success have been working for years in silence without anybody seeing them. And it's only once they get successful that everybody can see them, so that's why they think it happened overnight. But for that individual, more than likely they was working hard in the nights, lonely hours with no recognition, and then they get successful and everybody tells them, oh, you done this in one day. Yo, it's very fucking misunderstanding, very misconstruing, yo. It's peak out here. Of course, under these such circumstances, the seed will never germinate. And yet, this is exactly what so many of us do in the mental world. We must plant the seed and leave it undisturbed. This does not mean that we are to sit down and do nothing. By no means. We are going to do more and better work than we have ever done before. I promise you, you will do more, better, harder, deeper work, and you're going to be more engaged, more creative than you have ever done before. You will create more new, relatable, insightful content than ever before. New channels will be constantly provided, new doors will open, and all that is necessary is for you to have an open mind and be ready to act when the time comes. Thought force is the most powerful means by obtaining knowledge, and if concentrated on any subject, it will solve the problem. Nothing is beyond the power of human comprehension, but in order to harness thought force and make it do your bidding, yes, work is required. Work is required, yes. Hard mental labor, work is required. Remember that the thought is the fire that creates the steam that turns the wheel of fortune upon which your experiences depend. Ask yourself a few questions and then reverently await the response. Do you not know now and then feel the self within you? Do you not know now and then feel the self within you? So, this self, do you feel it now within you? Do you know who you are yourself? Do you assert this self? Or do you follow the majority? Be truthful now, be honest. Okay. Remember that the majorities are always led. They never lead. And it was the majority that fought against every advancement or improvement ever suggested. Me, I speak for myself. I know who myself is. I assert myself and I do not follow the majority. I stand out from the pack. I do my own thing, yo. I am a leader. But everybody has their own roles, so in order for a leader to lead, there has to be people to follow. Now, I hope you guys are ready. For your exercise this week, I want you to visualize your friend. Now in your head, you're going to sit still, return to your same spot, your same room. You're going to begin to release all tensions in your body, release all negative feelings. And now, you're going to visualize your friend for your exercise this week. You are going to want to see him exactly as you last saw him. Now engage all the senses. See the whole room, the tables, the chair, the walls, the furniture, the desk. Recall the conversation, the sound of his voice, the tone, any background noises, the weather, the vibrations, the overall mood of the conversation. Now, see his face. See it intricately and distinctly. See every single detail. Make him alive. Vitalize him in your imagination. Now, talk to him about some subject of mutual interest. I want you to see his expression change. Watch him smile in your mind. Can you do this? Are you able to do this? Is your imagination able to do this? All right, you can. Then arouse his interest. Tell him a story of adventure. See his eyes light up with the spirit of fun or excitement. Can you do this? See his face distinctly. Watch his face light up. Watch him smile. Make him happy in your own mind. See his eyes light up with the spirit of fun or excitement. You can be as creative as you want to. You know your friend. What would you say? Even tell a joke that's going to spark his humor. Can you do this? Can you do all of this in detail? If so, your imagination is good. You're making excellent progress. Now, for week 7, what is visualization? Question and answers for you guys. What is visualization? The process of making mental images. What is the result of this method of thought? By holding the image or picture in mind, we can gradually but surely bring the thing nearer to us. We can be what we will to be. What is idealization? It's the process of visualizing or idealizing the plans which will eventually materialize in our objective world. So why are clearness and accuracy necessary? Because seeing creates the feeling, and the feeling creates being. First the mental, then the emotional, and then the illimitable possibilities of achievement. How are they obtained? Each repeated action renders the image more accurate than the former one. How is the material for the construction of your mental image secured? By millions of mental workers. Brain cells, they are called. How are the necessary conditions for bringing about the materialization of your idea in an objective world secured? By the law of attraction, the natural law by which all conditions and experiences are brought about. What are the 3 steps necessary in order to bring this law into operation? Earnest desire, confident expectation, and firm demand. Why do many fail? Because they concentrate on loss, disease, and disaster. The law is operating perfectly. The things they fear are coming upon them. So what is the alternative? Concentrate on the ideals which you desire to see manifested in your life. So that's the key of this task. You're going to concentrate on the ideals which you desire to see manifested in your life. So a lot of you guys want to see your family members cheered up or your friends happy. For your task this week, you're going to imagine them in your own mind and you're going to see them as happy. So you're going to actually engage your own creative visualizing abilities of perception and what you can do inside your own mind, and you're going to see them and you're actually going to light them up with happiness and emotion. Because this is the idea or the abstract concept of what you're going to be trying to do in real life. So say you do want to make your friend happy in real life. First, yes, we're sitting here meditating on it, bro. You might think it's a bit weird or whatever, my nigga. This is to help you, bro. You have to see it in your mind before you can do it in real life. Even some of you, it's not what you're supposed to use it for, but if you want to take a girl on a date or something, before you can do that in real life, you got to know in your mind that you're going to be able to make her smile at least. So in week 8, we're going to be talking about thoughts and its results. But for you, now this is a problem a lot of people face. I know in real life, they concentrate on the loss. The problem, rent is due. I got to pay the rent. They focus on the money and having to pay it. And all they do is create that situation more in their head rather than focusing on the income and money that they are creating, rather than the money that's going out of their hands, rather than the rent you're paying to somebody else. You should be focusing on your income and your assets that you're building up yourself. So this is a key to how this task can be useful to you. So I'm not just telling you do the task, I'm showing you, you visualizing people in your own mind. First of all, you're engaging your imaginative abilities, and second of all, you're actually manifesting you being able to cheer up and make other people happier. You're creating that in your own mind, the conditions first. So when you actually go to a real person, or even if you don't do it, you know in your mind that you can do it first. So for this week, visualize your friend, and you're gonna wanna arouse them and make them happy and cheer them up in your own imagination. So that's your task for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about thought and its results. But you got to understand, when people focus on loss and disease and they concentrate on disaster and what could go wrong, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. So make sure you focus on the good, because the good is going to increase by you focusing on the good. You are giving power to whatever exists in your own mind. This is true because we must be before we can do. We can only do to the extent of what we are, and what we are depends on what we think. We can't express powers that we do not possess. So once we know we possess these powers, we're going to be doing everything to work on them and to strengthen these powers. So I'm going to say this to you. Peace and love to you all. I love each and every single one of you unconditionally. I truly wish you the best in life. I honestly, deeply, gratefully, and truly wish you all, and each and every single one of you, an authentic abundance of wealth, abundance of health, abundance of freedom, abundance of love, abundance of inspiration, abundance of intuition, abundance of prosperity, abundance of success, abundance of joy, abundance of fulfillment, abundance of satisfaction, and spiritual sovereignty upon your entire bloodline of ancestors and your descendants to come. You are divinely protected. Peace.